Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to live streaming coverage of Bazaar of Moxen, Annecy. It's my great pleasure to welcome back into the booth the Pro Tour champion and former Rookie of the Year, Pierre Canali. Pierre, great to have your company again today. We're going to head down to the feature match area in just a few moments. Players are getting seated behind us, but I know you've already had a sneak peek at what we're up against in the feature match area for round 3. Would you tell us, what are we looking at moving into the next round?
I think it's going to be really exciting.
I can see the smile on your face, my dude. I'm happy to hear it.
We have two really weird decks. An old deck which was pretty famous a long time ago. It's kind of a Belcher Storm deck.
Okay.
With Burning Wish, so you can wish for a Storm.
Okay,
storm
yeah,
card.
So just like pure combo.
Yeah,
yep.
I think you have a Belcher in his deck. Just make a sneak peek. And the other guy is even more interesting. You have a 4-color humility combo.
Okay, humility. So we're going to have some pretty confusing. We're going to have a couple of judge calls. Yep. All right.
And with 9 Planeswalkers.
4-color Super Friends.
Yeah, no blue.
And no blue.
Yeah.
What is going on?
And 9 Planeswalkers in Legacy, which is weird.
That's unbelievable.
And
so we're going to see the T-Bolt. He's going to be up in the mix, surely. Yeah. All these ones.
I don't know which one it is,
but
we'll
find out. I'm sure.
He's making a lot of tokens with humility.
Okay.
He have Calices as well.
Okay.
So it's gonna be really interesting because this deck is one of its kind.
Yeah, sounds absolutely unique. I have never seen anything like that before.
I mean,
we see some Planeswalkers in Legacy as well. We see Liliana the Veil, we see Jace, of course, stuff like that getting in there. But I mean, 9 Planeswalkers and no blue as well. It's going to be fascinating. And both of these players are 2-0.
Yeah, both of the players are 2-0, and the fact that he can make a lot of tokens and control the game with humility. I just see him one against Reanimator, who reanimates
Reanimator 1/1
Grizzled Brown, and the guy make humility. And
oh geez, knock that demon down a peg or two. Now, Pierre, you're an old hand at Magic. You've been around for a long time, and you know many people who perhaps haven't been playing for as long as you may not know some of your achievements, some of what you've been up about. But you moved away from the game a couple of years ago.
2008, I quit. Magic professionally. I have done that for 4 years, so it was really exciting and I love that. But then I moved to poker, and then I moved to being an entrepreneur. So now I just play for fun when I have time during the weekend. I play a lot of cube, a lot of vintage, all formats.
That's what I wanted to, because we had a great discussion last night about some of these things while we were cubing, and it was amazing to see, you know, you stack up all these different games you played, these different experiences you had, but you still put Magic at the top as being the most fun.
Yeah, it's most fun. I mean, I've done a lot of things in my life. I've been a salsa instructor as well. I have made a lot of things, but Magic is the most fun activity I can think about.
And it sounds like Eternal formats have really kept a very special place in your heart. So I imagine coming to a huge Eternal event like we've got today must be really good for you.
Yeah, every year I come to play this event. So it's the first year I'm not actually playing.
You're not actually playing.
And I love that. And the fact that the format is not moving so much, the fact that I have been playing for so long and accumulated all the old cards, it's really convenient for me because I don't have a lot of time. Magic takes a lot of time to play and to train and to become really good. So playing standard for me is not working anymore because it's working, changing too fast, and I don't have enough time to commit to become good at standard. So modern, legacy, vintage, old school Magic, cube are excellent format for me.
Absolutely, and this is something we've already touched upon today, talking about the sort of non-rotational nature of these older Eternal formats, the fact that people will invest in a deck both fiscally but also emotionally, and you know that if you get a Shardless Bug deck, if you get your Miracles deck, if you get whatever,
you can play for
years and years, and as a result we see a very, very slow shift in metagames like this. I was chatting with
even modern.
That's right. Yeah, no, I was chatting with Raph about this just a few minutes ago, and I'm interested to hear your perspective as well. If we look at the metagame breakdown, with the judges have been kind enough to provide for us here, we have nearly 25 decks, so nearly 10% of the 300 players that have assembled here today are playing Eldrazi, right?
That was my prediction. I'm
very interested to hear your perspective on it, but right now it is time to head down to the feature match area. We're going to move down and have a look at these 2 decks that you mentioned before, Pierre. It's time to have a look at this 4-color non-blue Humility Super Friends deck, and also, of course, as you said before, excuse me, his opponent here. We're going to figure out exactly which one's going on, which one's which here. Is the
Jean-Baptiste on the left is playing 4-color non-blue humility deck.
the name just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, and Florian on the right side is playing. I think it's Belcher deck.
Yeah.
Who can go for Empty the Worms.
Okay, so huge.
But it's not the main plan, I think.
Just just jamming all the combos together.
It used to be more popular, but it's not playing that much now. And his deck seems really interesting because the fact that you have two different ways to win.
Yeah.
Empty the Warren with Storm and a lot of red mana sources, or Belcher.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting to have both.
Yeah, it's sort of a strange. It puts the opponent in a strange position, having to sort of think about tackling both sides of the coin here.
And when it was more popular, it wasn't a good deck because everyone have a lot of sideboard techniques against that. But maybe right now,
get in a position to make a bit of a resurgence. Yeah, for sure. Well, it'll be interesting to see how things go here as our players are shuffling up here. Looks like we got a mulligan happening, or no? It just looks like we've taken a while to shuffle there. I do want to come back to talk about Eldrazi. We'll have the chance to do that a bit later on because it seems to be where the format is going a little bit at least. These sort of marquee legacy events in Europe, stuff like Bazaar of Moxen, supporting the legacy format, putting it on the front stage. It indicates that this may be where we're going. We may be having our reality smashed here. Yeah. Trouble for you, mate. These cards are only 6 months old.
Yeah, true. I don't have any of them.
you don't know what's going on. There we go. Let's have a look though. So we got.
I can see a Chalice of the Void.
A Chalice of the Void hanging out on the left-hand side of the
That's
screen.
why I think this deck is super exciting. Most of the format costs 1.
Yeah.
Most of the cards cost 1. So having a turn 1 Chalice for 1 is just amazing.
It looks like we're going to see. Okay. So here is Chrome Mox. Jean-Baptiste does have Ancient Tomb in hand, so it could have cast the turn 1 Chalice a number of ways, but we're going to see it cast off these two. So the Abrupt Decay imprinted on the Chrome Mox. You can see as well Guru lands for Jean-Baptiste Aim here. So this guy hasn't come to. He's come to.
You're going to see a lot of pretty nice cards.
Yeah, that's right. These Guru lands, for those who may not know about them, some of the most absolute premium, expensive basic lands that there are. A real sign that you are very, very serious about the deck you're playing and about its presentation.
And here have also a lot of fall Japanese cards. It's really nice.
It's wonderful. It's really wonderful to see how much care and effort people put into the presentation.
Yeah, especially in the Eternal formats.
Yeah, because there is the payoff for.
It's a deck of a life.
Yeah, that's it. That's right. That's a great way to put it. You are making a very long-term investment in this deck, and it's not just a monetary investment. It is an investment of time and effort and energy.
And pleasure also.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I mean, the fact that someone like you who has sort of played the circuit, gone on to games with fatter purses or whatever else like that, but continue to come back to Magic, it's still such a big part of you. It speaks to the pleasure, the strength of this game.
Yeah, the fact that all the old Magic players who move into poker the last 15 years never quit Magic.
No, they keep coming back.
All play at least Cube.
Yeah.
And most of them play Eternal formats because
So
it's the most fun deck ever.
We've seen Gitaxian Probe, which
little mistake from Florian.
Should have been counted by the Chalice of the Void.
It was
indeed counted. Yeah. There you go. Yes. So Florian just checking if his opponent knows what's up. And here's 3 mana now, and it's going to be Liliana of the Veil. This is a Planeswalker. I'm not surprised to see in Legacy.
Yeah, obviously. The Chalice of the Void is going to be a little problem for Florian because you have at least a red mana sources. The wall, the wall you sacrifice, you make 2 red.
The Cinder Wall, yeah.
So you have at least 12 cards
that
for
are
1 mana,
immediately black.
and probably a lot more.
Yep. Gitaxian Pro being discarded this time, not even going to try and cast that bad boy.
Yeah.
And Liliana, interestingly, came down and was not discarded, so I can see Ancient Tomb and what looks like a Humility in the hand for Jean-Baptiste here. And another card, Mystery card, drawn off the top. So this is kind of the lock already here. I mean, opponent not playing lands, obviously, but it's...
Florian have the possibility to play a lot of Lotus Petal and other mana sources who cost 2 or 3 and be able to do with land grants, he will be able to do a Belcher.
Yeah.
Even with turn 1 Chalice.
So both players are discarding here. It looks like we've had a... Oh, jeez, what's that card there?
It is -X, and you lose X life.
Oh, it's Toxic Deluge. It looks like it's been altered there.
It's Japanese.
Ah, as well. Okay, I see. That's... Man, there you go. So that's from the Commander set as well. A strong sideboard card's coming from any of the black decks. But it looks like Ames is happy to play it in the main as well. Probably a prudent pick considering... its combo with Humility.
Yeah, I think Jean-Baptiste is not aware about the fact that Florian is playing Empty the Burn.
Yeah.
So if he would have kept the Toxic Deluge, if he knew his opponent was playing Empty the Burn, because it's amazing. You lose 1 life and you remove all the goblins.
Yeah, it's pretty tight indeed. But it looks like it's going to be Liliana number 2 here. So Jean-Baptiste just really wanting to empty his opponent's hand here.
And it's a good combo because the kill of Jean-Baptiste basically is tokens.
Yeah.
And the white card, which is flashback for black, will make 2 tokens.
Lingering Souls, yeah.
So it's really good. You can discard it and make 2 tokens. And once you are locking your opponent.
Yeah. Lion's Eye Diamond being discarded by Stange.
Land Grant. Here we go.
Here's Land Grant. So now. And here's the Storm. Storm count on the right hand side of your screen. So unfortunately, AIM may have sort of missed a little bit here, especially that we're discarding that Toxic Deluge.
Yeah, but it was impossible for him to guess.
Yeah, for sure. You can't. And his is playing here. As you see, Tiger entering the battlefield from that Land Grant. So Land Grant, a card that enables you to search your library for a land if you have no cards in land cards in hand. And you can play for free.
Belcher deck is playing only 1 Tiger usually.
Yep. And here's the Storm. Storm count on the right hand side of your screen. So unfortunately, AIM may have sort of missed a little bit here, especially that we're discarding that Toxic Deluge.
Yeah, but it was impossible for him to guess.
Yeah, for sure. You can't. And here's an empty for 7, I think. Empty for 6. So 12 1/1s.
Wow, you need to top deck a Toxic Deluge really soon.
Yeah. This is going to be. This is going to be pretty ferocious. And looks like Jean-Baptiste is going to find some tokens here for Stange. There you go. There are the tokens. And so, off the top, a Humility also not so good here. Liliana as well, not particularly hot. So Stange playing very carefully there and getting around discarding 3 cards to Liliana and still enabled a huge empty there.
Yeah.
So sacrifice a creature. Okay. Not the strongest Liliana activation I've ever seen, and doesn't really even change the clock unless Florian's going to go for Lily. But no, putting down Ames down to 9. Ames has 1 draw step here, and it is.
It's a white card, but I don't know what it is.
Wow, not good enough. So unfortunately for Ames here, he's going to pick up a loss. But Stange will be happy with that. After a flurry of early disruption from Ames, Stange's done well.
Yeah, and now he knows the deck, so he will probably make Chalice for 0.
Yeah.
For the Lotus Petal and
Lion's Eye Diamond.
Yeah. And he would kept now his Toxic Deluge for sure.
Absolutely, for sure. All right, we're going to kick it over to table number 2 now. Let's have a look at what's going on there as our players sideboard and shuffle up for their game. Looks like we're about to get underway here between Tom Kellick and Christian
Wow, I'm happy to see Tom. He's a good friend of mine from London. We play in the same shop in London.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
He's legacy, vintage, and old school player.
An Eternal Master for sure.
Really, really nice guy.
Oh, there you go. Interesting to see what he's brought to the table.
He's always playing Eternal Garden.
Well, never mind. We know exactly what he's bringing on. Okay.
He won like a lot of tournaments with Eternal Garden in London. I think he made a huge performance in the GP as well. He's a really good Eternal Garden player.
Alright, let's have a look and see what Tom Kellick's going to do here. Roischel, I haven't got a good look at his hand. I can see, looks like a Mishra's Factory is hanging out in there somewhere.
If you want to understand Eternal Garden and you are interested in the deck, you can Google Tom Kellogg Eternal Garden and you will see really interesting articles about the deck.
Okay, there you go.
He's like the master of the land deck.
From the horse's mouth, as it were.
But Christian, I have no clue.
Roischel here The only card I'm positive of is the
Mishra Factory.
Mishra's Factory. That's right. That looks like an Eye of Ugin. We may be seeing here at the Eldrazi.
Yeah, because I saw a kind of resistance sphere.
A sphere of resistance, yeah, okay. And we're going to see Sphere of Resistance cast turn 1, so a punishing start there against a deck filled with spells, but Tom
against
Kellick,
land, it's not a big issue.
Yeah, against lands perhaps not so much. We'll see what Kellick can bring to the table here. Simian Spirit Guide being exiled to power out that Thorn. Here's a Richard and Port, and it's Mox Diamond. Mox Diamond costing 1, of course, usually it's free. Yeah. And discard a land, which isn't much of a drawback. Looks like Glacial Chasm has hit the bin here.
Yeah, it's an advantage to discard because you need lands in your graveyard.
Yeah.
Because obviously the main card of your deck is
Life from the Loam, of course. Yep. And here's Eye of Ugin now. So Eye of Ugin not producing any mana in and of itself, but powering out these cards: Thought Not Seers, Reality Smashers, that sort of thing. So Kellick now back to him for turn 2. He's got 2 mana available, but all of his spells are going to cost 1 more.
Yeah, it doesn't need to cast spell, basically. Just play Wastelands, Richard and Port, lock your opponent down.
Yeah, Tabernacle as well is going to be key as well.
Yeah. It's a really good deck. When you look at the list, you said, what? I don't understand, but it's working really, really well. Yeah,
it is. It's a very strong list as well. Interesting, there are a couple of different ways the list's taken when it comes to actually killing the opponent. Some of them going for the Dark Depths, Thespian Stage combo. Of course, being able to sacrifice the copied Dark Depths and make a 20/20. But a lot of them just go for Punishing Fire. Just grind it out with the Punishing Fire, grow over the Burn Willows, get you for 2, get you for 2, get you for 2.
You have multiple strategy, and what I like with this deck is it's really underrated. That means that few people play it, but most of them are doing well.
Yeah.
They have a huge penetration in day 2s and in top 8s.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
it's not really popular. And
it's not
really
popular. And the other thing about it is it does reward mastery. You know, it's one of those decks that if you go very deep on, sort of reminds me of the Amulet Bloom deck in Modern, in the sense that you do have to put in the reps, you put in the time, but after that, I mean, it attacks on a whole different angle.
Yeah. I was looking at the coverage last time. I think it was BoM Madrid, and there were Eternal Garden player also who played really good, but still he made like a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Even if he was a really good player and he made a really good performance, but it's a really difficult deck to play.
So Thespian Stage from Tom Kellick indicates to me that Dark Depths is at least part of the combo here.
Yeah, true. It's the way you kill his opponent.
And it's Gamble now. So Gamble has been described by some Lands players as actual demonic tutor.
Yeah.
So Gamble says, search your library for a card, put it in your hand, and then discard a card at random.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're getting Life from the Loam,
it's
that doesn't matter.
A win-win condition.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all.
Win-win situation.
Yeah, absolutely. You're more than happy to entomb a Life from the Loam, and there aren't many cards in your deck that you don't mind bidding, basically.
And the rest of your hand, when you cast a Gamble, is usually only lands.
Yeah.
So if you discard a land, it's good because you fetch for Life from the Loam.
It's awkward if you end up discarding something like a Mox Diamond or something like that.
You would have played before.
But generally, that's exactly the point.
There is not a lot of spell, and all the spells are cheap, so you're always able to play your Exploration before, or your Mox Diamond before.
Crop rotation, that sort of thing going on as well. So let's see here, we're going to resolve this Gamble. So 6 cards in hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let's find out, it's going to be the last card, which is
Life from the
Loam. Perhaps just freshly gained by that Gamble there. But as we say, Tom Kellick will not find that a problem at all. Here's Flowstone Portal. Now, Flowstone Portal is a card that I think Tom Kellick would have been very happy to discard.
Yeah, it's really important to have it in the graveyard.
So, Flowstone Portal, it taps for 1 colourless mana, but if it's in the graveyard, it gives all of your lands the ability to tap for white or green. Now, the reason this is so important is if you're playing lands like Dark Depths, you're playing lands like Maze of Ith, you're playing Tabernacle or Pendrell Vale, you're playing lands that don't tap for mana. Glacial Chasm as well, another one. Oh, okay, so Tom Kellick's hand actually no lands at all. Double Life from the Loam, triple after that Gamble. And then a Crop Rotation and a Magmatic Vortex, a Molten Vortex. Now, Molten Vortex is a reasonably new addition to the lands deck, giving them another way to win the games here. And again, this is, I think, what will be very, very clear to anyone viewing this, Pierre, is the fact that this is a graveyard deck. They don't mind the lands going to the graveyards at all, in any way.
Exactly.
So Thought Not Seer exiling now that crop rotation, leaving Kellic with Molten Vortex and double life from the loam here.
Yeah, crop rotation would have been nice with the sacrificing the portal.
But not to be, as Kellic draws for the turn. He's found the Tabernacle.
I think he's going to cast Life from the Loam to get the 2 lands back.
So in the bin at the moment we have a... I can't quite see what those are there. Rishidan Port is one of them. That was wastelanded, and another card that was discarded. Oh, Glacial Chasm was discarded to the Mox Diamond there. Kellic hitting the tank here. He's got a few things to think about. I mean, there is a 4/4 facing him down there.
Yeah, he would have.
It's life from the loam.
Dredge instead of at the doorstep would have been a pretty wise choice as well, but you already have 2 Life from the Loams.
Yeah. So Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale is going to make sure that Thought Not Seer costs Glacial one land per turn, at least. We're going to see Mishra's Factory tap down to pay for the Tabernacle. So the Tabernacle making it so all creatures are destroyed or sacrificed, unless their opponent plays one.
Sacrificed.
Sacrificed?
Yeah.
I know on the card text itself says destroyed, but that may have been errata. In comes the 4/4.
So now it's going to be difficult.
So there's the Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. As I said, that may have been
Changed, maybe.
That may have been changed. We'll check that out very quickly for you to make sure we've got the latest Oracle reading, of course. And here is a Matter Reshaper now, the 3/2 that when it leaves the battlefield, or when it dies, I think it is, it replaces itself.
Let's destroy.
Tabernacle does destroy, so if you've got an indestructible creature, you don't have to pay for it. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
I think it's only one card will get an upkeep, which is not sacrificed, like Energy Flux and all those cards.
Yeah, all those other ones
they
it's
make
always
you
destroy.
sacrifice.
Yeah, Kataki, this sort of thing. Yep. Serenity destroys everything, but only once.
Yeah.
So Kellic here having another good old think about how he's going to navigate this turn. Flowstone Portal is going to tap. Nope, no, it's not. It is going to be Flowstone Portal here, and we're going to see Glacial Chasm. Sacrificing the portal, 1 in pool.
So now they all make mana.
Yeah. So Mox Diamond discarding the Rishidan Port that was gained back from the life from the loam here. So at the moment, Kellic's hand, correct me if I'm wrong, is double life from the loam.
Yeah. No, single Life from the Loam. He played.
Oh, he plays played one, of course. Yeah.
The other one is. Yeah.
And he's Molten Vortex. Molten Vortex costing 2. So the thought of Amethyst has been, it's been mildly problematic, I think, for Kellic. Certainly slowed him down a little bit here, but Vortex is going to be... Vortex in conjunction with Life from the Loam is going to be reasonably strong.
Yeah.
Not a lot of red sources is the only problem here, but Glacial Chasm is going to be a nice one. So there's Molten Vortex.
Christian get a Westland to get rid of the Glacial Chasm, but he's going to come back the turn after, and it's going to be a...
So Royal now having to think about how to play around this Tabernacle, and we see the Matter Reshaper destroyed, and it's going to draw a Thought Not Seer. So Matter Reshaper, putting the card on the battlefield of its converted mana cost is 3 or less, often negating people a free land, but into the hand otherwise.
And you see how Eternal Garden is working and how it's difficult for an aggressive deck to to get there, because you need to pay at the upkeep to get a creature who won't make a lot of damage, especially with all the Maze of It and the Glacial Chasm
and the natural resiliency for Wasteland as well is just huge with the lands deck, because you know, with these utility lands, you look at something like Death and Taxes, they do have Rishadan Port. It can be a huge thorn in the side of many players, but you just Wasteland it away, no worries. The problem with the lands deck is, especially if they've got an exploration out, they can just replay them so quickly.
Yeah. You see, he had to sacrifice a creature, pay the keep for the other one, and didn't do a single point of damage.
Yeah.
That's the power of the land deck.
So now we see Glacial Chasm is going to ding Kellic for 2 here. And we're going to see Life from the Loam dredged as well. So the engine is beginning to get revved up. Here's Punishing Fire as well. And double Maze of It. Look at that. That's going to be huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
He can make damages with his lands, not taking damages.
Yeah.
Wasteland, Rishadan Port, it's going to be really difficult for Christian now to come back.
Here's Life from the Loam, of course costing 3 mana because of the Sphere of Amethyst, but handily being able to tap Glacial Chasm and Tabernacle Pendrel Val thanks to that Flowstone Portal. So Kellic showing off his deck here. This has been a very instructive match.
Yeah.
Molten Vortex that. And I'll do it again as well. So, drawing a card as well. So just, obscene levels of value here for Kellic, as he, very cleverly as well, is discarding cards that he doesn't want exiled to his opponent's Thought Not Seer.
Yeah.
At the moment, though...
He will get them back next turn anyway.
So, Thought of Amethyst, preventing
not much.
It's going to be a Pithing Needle for 2 on Molten Vortex. So I was going to say, sorry, the Thorn of Amethyst preventing Kellic from getting to this position earlier.
Yeah.
But now that he's in this position, he's in a good spot.
5 mana is way enough.
So Kellic, considering whether to dredge, we're going to see lose 4 life to the Glacial Chasm here.
Dredge again, obviously.
Dredge, Life from the Loam, Thespian Stage, Crop Rotation, and a Tiger hitting the bin. A Tiger, what a very unusually boring land as well. How worried is Kellic? I mean, at this stage, Kellic is going to have to find an answer for his own Glacial Chasm at one point.
He needs to make a 2020 before he dies, or find a crop rotation.
Yeah.
Or another Glacial Chasm to sacrifice the first one and restart from the beginning.
Reset the cumulative upkeep for sure. Because at the moment, that's a 2-turn clock here. But Kellic, with many of the tools that you may need to deal with that. And we're going to see another Life from the Loam here.
Yes, I think so. It's going to be a Life from the Loam. 3 mana.
No, considers it again. So hasn't yet played a land for the turn. It's going to be Maze of Ith here. So the Pithing Needle holding down the Molten Vortex, which would otherwise be doing a lot of damage.
4 every turn.
So we've got four mana here, and we're going to see... Oh, Crows and Grip. Okay, so that's going to turn the Vortex back on. And now, 4 a turn, as you said, Pierre Canale.
Plus the Tiger, he will get next turn, it's going to be 6 every turn.
6 a turn, And with the mana also to cast Life from the Loam, that's, no worries at all. That's just, you're taking 6 every turn. So as long as we can find an answer for the Glacial Chasm, it looks like Tom Kellic may be in business here.
Yes, you need to find a way to get rid of the Glacial Chasm in the next 2 turns.
So now it's Royshot who's having to have a think about things. In his hand, City of Traitors, it's going to come into play. I can see what looks like a Matter Reshaper in addition to a Thought Not Seer that we've already seen. So Flowstone Portal in the graveyard, helpful little graphic there reminding us why the maze and the Tabernacle and the Chasm are all tapping for mana there. Let's see what Royshot can do here. Certainly having to have a think about things. 1 mana. We may see mana reshaper. No, sorry, 2 mana. It's Thought Not Seer. And double life from the loam there, so Kellic making sure he's got access to at least one. I think there's another one in his graveyard. And mana reshaper here again, just costing 1 thanks to the Eye-Vugan. So that Eye-Vugan tapping for 4 more or less this turn. And Evotional ships it back. Kellic's going to take 6 from his Glacial Chasm here.
So he chooses not to pay the cumulative upkeep. Okay. That's right. It's possible to choose not to pay. It's a cumulative upkeep. You have the choice.
You do have the choice. So away it goes. Kellic going to be relying on that Maze of Ith to make sure his life's total stays relatively high.
Yeah, he could have a second one.
Goes for the draw as well.
Wow. I didn't expect that at all.
Well, life from the loam in hand for Kellic. And I'm not sure what he's drawn.
Yeah, you have enough land, so it doesn't need to dredge. It's gonna take a second Maze of Ith, maybe.
Let's have a look here. See what Kellic can do. 2 cards in hand. Life from the loam. Another one we haven't had a glimpse at yet. 3 mana. Is it going to be life?
Yes.
Life from the loam.
Get a second Maze of Ith.
Seems strong. Tiger as well, yep.
Red mana.
As you mentioned. And it's going to be the Glacial Chasm once again. So, land for the turn.
Tiger could make sense using the Molten Vortex or the Maze of Ith. Both make sense.
Looks like it might be the Tiger, and it is indeed the Tiger. Yeah. So, here's some more mana, and it's going to now be Exploration. That's a strong play.
And the second Maze of Ith.
And the second Maze of Ith as well. So that Exploration really, not a bad draw. Not a bad draw there at all.
Yeah.
Considering that Kellic does have the life from the loam, I think 2 in the graveyard. Punishing Fire also hanging out there as well in case Kellic ever draws a Grove of the Burn Willows here.
Did you see a Punishing Fire?
There's Punishing Fire in the bin.
Okay.
And we've just lost power in our booth, unfortunately. We're getting that reset straight away. Not 100% sure if you can hear us, but thanks for your patience as we continue with the stream. Seems like everything's back in order.
Not a second Maze of Ith.
It's the Glacial Chasm here. Interesting choice.
Yeah.
City of Traitors. An Eldrazi Temple. So 4 mana at the moment. And here's Reality Smasher. And an Eldrazi Mimic also taking on the form, and a Wasteland to get rid of the Glacial Chasm as we've seen. This is a big attack here. So, Kellic reminding Voishal that the Eldrazi Mimic does not have haste.
Yeah.
But in comes the 4/4 nonetheless. Kellic down to 6 here. We've seen Reality Smasher a huge threat out of the Eldrazi decks in recent times, paired with Thought Not Seer as well. Life from the Loam being dredged here. So Kellic, with 3 activations of the Molten Vortex, can more or less clear his opponent's board here.
I think he will go for Life from the Loam and for 3 mana and play 2 lands, probably a Glacial Chasm and a Maze of Ith.
Okay.
Just in case his opponent top deck another Wasteland.
This is the nice thing about the Glacial Chasm, in conjunction with Life from the Loam, it can act as just it can be there every turn.
Yeah, and
especially with the Exploration.
The combo with Pen 11, with Tabernacle is amazing. The guy will have to pay 3 at the beginning to keep his 3 creatures. during the upkeep, and then the creature will be handled by Maze of Ith.
Yeah.
It doesn't worth paying, but you have no choice, and it's a luck situation, which is I don't like to face Eternal Garden when I play creature deck.
No, of course. I mean, and this is the strength of it. You see here the combination, as you mentioned, of the Tabernacle and all of the creature like the lands that deal with the creatures, the mazes, the chasms, and so forth.
You're in a position where you are kind of forced to pay, and you don't want to pay, and it's awful.
And meanwhile, with cards like Exploration, the Life from the Loams just continue to eke value out, Molten Vortex, all this sort of stuff. Just the amount of value that you can get out of these individual cards is insane. Wasteland's going to get rid of that Mishra's Factory here. And
Yes.
Celestial Chasm once again.
So
Sacrificing the target. Sorry, go on.
yeah, it's going to be difficult for him now to pay the upkeep of his creatures. That's why he chose to play a Wasteland.
So Royshal with Eldrazi Temple and Eye of Ugin in play. So Royshal really can only save one creature here.
Yeah, only.
And Kellic draws a card off the Thought-Knot Seer if it's destroyed.
Yeah.
So away goes the Mimic. Eye of Ugin in hand for Royshal, and that's one of the natural disadvantages of having Eye of Ugin in your deck. You draw more than one, it's very awkward.
Yeah, even if he draws now a Wasteland, there is 2 lands he needs to get rid of,
Yeah.
and so a single Wasteland won't be enough. So I think now it's game for Tom.
It seems like Kellic may more or less may have this locked up here, as Kellic draws a card from the Thought-Knot Seer. And Royshal here, yeah, he's got his work cut out from that. This 5/5 is just not doing anything in the face of Glacial Chasm and Maze of Ith. And Exploration means that Kellic can actually keep pace with the Chasm going to the graveyard every turn.
Yeah, that's exactly what is happening. Dredge and replay it every turn with another Wasteland. So in the end, the board will be empty. Christian won't have any permanent except for the Amethyst, Thorn of Amethyst.
Which, as we've said, has actually imposed a very heavy tax on Kellic, but one that he's been able to ignore as this game has gone longer. Tiger, Wasteland, and Chasm once again.
He's going to play Chasm and Wasteland, and the game is done.
So Wasteland, your Eldrazi Temple. Well, now there's not even a need to play the Chasm.
No.
Play a second Maze here, perhaps?
Yeah, or a Taiga and start making damage to his opponents. And
No, there it is. Okay, so the away goes the Reality Smasher, and there's not a third Eye of Ugin. That's an unfortunate draw for Royshal, and that is going to be game. Game, set, and match for Tom Kellic. Well done indeed to him. We're going to see if we can jump back over to our other table and get a look at that Humility deck if those guys are still going. But in the meantime, Pierre Canale, Eldrazi, are forced to be reckoned with in Legacy, but lands just at the end of the day too good.
yeah, exactly. It's really good against all the creature deck.
Yeah.
It's a little bit less powerful against control, even if you have chalices. Yeah, it's really powerful deck.
It is back to the booth here, Ryan and I, alongside Pro Tour champion Pierre Canale. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see a whole lot of that, the Super Friends Humility deck that you mentioned, but I did want to talk to you about Eldrazi, and I'm very glad that we got to see some of it in action here. We do have some other stuff lined up for you in just a few moments. While that's getting ready, however, I do want to have a chat to you about the Eldrazi lists that are flying around. As we've mentioned already, 300 players here, just about 300 players, 25 of them have turned up with Eye of Ugin. What are your thoughts in terms of the Legacy metagame adapting to this new threat? Is this a flash in the pan? Are we going to see more Thought-Knot Seers, more Reality Smashers moving forward in tournaments like this?
I think it's difficult to say. I think the deck is obviously pretty good, pretty fast. You have access to all the Legacy amazing cards.
Yeah, all the soul lands that produce 2 mana.
And all the artifacts, like the Son of Amethyst and other Sphere of Resistance. And I think it's going to be really, really good. Obviously, the metagame is changing. We talked about that already. It's not moving that fast, so I'm really curious to know what it will become. But yeah, I think we have to count with this deck now, and it's going to be a big part of the metagame.
I think you're right in saying that. I think that it is also offering an entry point for many people who maybe have just had their Eye of Ugins banned in Modern. They're looking to still put them to some use. They think, well, I can kind of get a legacy deck together here and get
a really
to
powerful deck, and I already have the 60% of the deck ready.
That's right, I just need my City of Traders. That's how it goes. There you go. Well, my friends, I've got some good news for you because we're going to head over now to another cube draft. More Eldrazi action later on, I would imagine, Pierre. I don't think we've seen the last of that deck, but very well done indeed to your friend Tom Kellick taking that one out, and hopefully we'll get some more Planeswalkers on the battlefield before very much longer. Round number 4 coming your way. It's time for me to step out. You're going to be joined by the French superstar Raphael Levy in addition to Pierre Canali. So stick around, but right now we've got another cube draft. So let us know how you thought we went. Jump on Twitter, jump on Facebook, choose your pipe, yell at us in the comments or in the Twitch chat. We're more than happy to hear what you guys think. But right now it's time for the cube draft. We'll be back with more live coverage of Bazaar of Moxen and Annecy before very much longer. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you again soon.